I got Rock in the house.
Woo.
We were just live on his stream, and I'm like, dude, I got to show you this hero matching tool. Because
Show me,
Rock,
man.
yeah, he was kind of bummed out. Like, hey, I kind of heroes have pumped a lot, over these past, I don't know, couple weeks or week even. And he's like, man, I meant to buy a bunch. Well, for one, we do have Crystal basically, at its all-time low. So that helps. And I'm like, hey, because he's wanting to build an army to get more tiers to do all this. And I'm so bullish on tiers and just everything in the game, on pets, on tiers. Now, again, let me clarify. I was just blown away by Brown Gent, because Brown Gent was on. It was an exciting. We had like a sort of a debate. It wasn't really a debate because we pretty much agree. But there's maybe, one thing though that blew my mind is that Brown Gent came in when Jewel was at around $14. So he came in like the day after Christmas or the day after Christmas, I think. So he's been in just over a year. Okay. And he's actually managed through this insane hell that's all that's happened with DeFi Kingdoms since, pretty much. He's just managed to actually make money and profit in the game, which is amazing. And that's blowing my mind. And he's working 60 hours a week, on his fiat job. Yes. Haitian Buffet. All you guys. I love you guys. Jeremy and Zelf.
We're just going to do stream hopping all night long. It's going to be one DFK stream after the next.
I'll tell you what, yeah, because I am going to go live again, I think, with Eric Tippett. He's been wanting to go live for a while. Okay. Nice. And so I love it. Skiller in the house, you guys. Tune Fed. Yo. So I'm so bullish on these things because I think but also let me clarify. Yes, I'm super bullish on tiers, but that doesn't necessarily mean to go buy tiers. Now, you could dollar cost average a little bit of money, but there's not even enough liquidity to buy a whole lot. If you're buying too many, you're just really driving up the price fast. And then what could happen is there's dozens of wallets out there that could literally dump the market almost down to zero with tiers, which would be great because then I'd be buying them up. Okay. But just we're still in speculation mode. But once Profession 10 level quests actually come out and it's real world use case for the pets, I think the demand is going to be nuts. Unless Profession 10 level quest is like a bust or something, that is a risk. Maybe it doesn't turn out to be what we're hoping, but I doubt that. I really doubt that.
I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I do too. So what I think is going to happen is that tiers, there's really not even going to be enough tiers to hatch all these eggs. And there's not enough pets to satisfy the demand that we'll have for all the heroes that are Profession 10 level questing ready. Okay. So it's just going to cause the whole market to absolutely go bonkers. So hatching all the green eggs too. So that it's not like right now with gray and blue eggs. First of all, there's a ton of gray and blue eggs that also need to be hatched. And a lot of people haven't hatched them because you don't need the pets right now, right? There's no real need to hatch those. But once the need comes, look out. Once the value of these things, once people buy up all those pets with that hatcher guy right out there in the marketplace, look out. So that's just me speculating. Okay. When that actually comes, the demand, I think, because it's not speculative at that point when everyone's needing all these pets to quest all these heroes, because there's a higher teardrop rates that's coming for Profession 10 level quests. They're not going to lower the tiers to hatch these things or do these things. I don't believe, because they've even said that more than once on both in Discord and in their AMAs recently. So I just think, look out, mega price shock. Okay. And then we're all going to want more heroes, which just rinse and repeat. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's also bullish for gold, because not a ton of people are questing right now in Profession 10 level quests. And so the gold being minted is drastically reduced by a huge percentage. I'm not sure what. I still want to figure that out. And so nonstop streams. That's right. Born to Die, baby. Love you guys. I'm going to get Born to Die on, I think, next week, maybe. I love it.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah. Brown Gent is a realist and he's really shrewd. So it's just amazing. Okay. But for, when it comes to trading, you got to really have all your SHIT together, right? And so otherwise you're going to 90+% of traders don't ever make money trading. But the people that it's like a full-time job almost, if you're good with that kind of stuff. And the Brown Gent, man, just is one of a kind when it comes to that. He's awesome. So really, when you look at the people that have made the most money in crypto are the people that just bought and hold and dollar cost averaged in. And so in the short term, that might not look real well, especially right now if you've been in DeFi Kingdoms for a while. But in the long term, man, just think, okay, that's what I've been doing. And I haven't really been taking profits much. I just keep reinvesting in the game. And now I was starting to do that a little bit, but not a whole lot. And so I'm just betting on the game to succeed. And so once all these things come to be, okay, Rock is saying, hey, I want more heroes. I want an army of heroes so we can get more tiers. And I'm saying, hey, you can do that, baby.
Show me, man.
Summoning. So that's where we're at right now, because I think it all kind of translates back into the value of heroes are going to be going up because that's how we get the tiers. So a lot of people made the case, like Christian Peter, Brown Gent, a lot of people saying, hey, I'd rather sell my tiers than buy heroes. Okay, not a bad move. So I don't think, or, some people I don't necessarily recommend buying a ton of tiers right now, but you could DCA a little bit here and there, especially if you need them to hatch the eggs. But either way, like in my case, I've got a big fat army of heroes. I don't really have to worry about it. I get at least 1,000, maybe even closer to 2,000 tiers per day from just all my questers.
Yeah. See, and this is part of the thing that I started to realize, unfortunately, a little bit later, I think, although it was a couple of weeks ago, I started to realize the amount of items that you're getting from questing. And so I started to build up my army maybe a month ago, but I think I only got about 50 heroes at that time. And so it's been slowly building. But now I think is a tipping point where so much of the community has been like you, Brown Jen, other people have talked about this so much that the time has passed for getting those cheap heroes in the tavern. So now I'm like, all right, Grady, I guess we're going to need to, have you show me how to use a tool like Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms where I can put a whole wallet with a bunch of heroes to save me some time rather than going one by one, right?
That's right. And so this is a no-brainer tool for multiple reasons. Okay. And so I would recommend anybody to jump into this. Okay. What's that?
It's behind a paywall. So I think the first question that I or a lot of people are going to have is, how much are you having to pay to get access to this tool that you're about to show me?
Yeah. Okay. Let's look at that now. I think this is fixing to change real soon because I think they'll participate in the C Jewel, S Jewel, power up thing. So I think they've already mentioned that. But who knows when that comes? Maybe that takes a little while. So when you come here to the home screen, if you notice here in the upper right hand side, you click account.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, you connect your Discord account here.
Yep.
So you put in your Discord. And then that one of the tools that you is available to you is an alert, a tavern alert. You can set up any alert that you want, any hero that you want to buy at any time, and then you get a Discord message. Okay, when that pops in the tavern, you can just boom, go buy it. Now it's not a bot to where you can go where it'll auto buy for you or anything like that. That'd be nice, but so that is a really nice tool to have, even though it's not something I utilize a whole lot because, I'm not really looking to buy much.
Yeah.
Hey, Crypto Baby H in the house. Awesome stream with her last night.
Yeah, I love that stream with her.
Okay. So one thing here Larry's saying is, so for now, all the pools with the gold, won't get nearly as much volume as the crystal, jewel, or jade pools, I think, on either realm in most cases, until more people, I'm trying to get out of all those pools where I have crystal and jewel and jade tied up. I don't have any jade. So I don't want that stuff tied up. I'd rather have that in the gardens, and I'd have my gold tied up. I'm good with that, with items providing liquidity. But until that happens, your gold and item liquidity pools will not perform as well, but at least you can put your crystal or jewel or jade into the gardens. Okay.
Yeah.
So back to this.
Yeah.
Adventures in DFK. So once you're on the
price
section, right. Yeah. Okay. You put in your Discord and submit that. Okay. And then your registered wallet, you can register multiple wallets, which maybe I should do that. Okay. Okay.
Right.
And even so, what a lot of people do, what's funny to me is they might put in, like, let's say 10 crystal. Okay. And that, so even 10 crystal gives you 1.5 days. So what if you just one crystal and then they just like use this as needed?
Yeah.
So 0.15 days. What is that? Like an hour or something?
That's like 2 hours, I think.
2 hours. There you go. So you can use the tool with one crystal for 10 cents for 2 hours. But the more you put in, that's why you just might as well do this anyways, right? Because then it'll expire. And then next time you need to use it, if you don't need to use it much, you could just put in one crystal.
Yeah. In fact, I'll jump in and say, this is the way that I've used it several times. I would love to have like a monthly or 2 months at a time, because as you've said, you put in a lot more money and your value gets to be a lot more. But one thing that I've done with this is, because I find myself being so busy with other things in life that I don't, there's been like 5 days where I've not even come in to use ADFK, some of the stuff here. That at a while, it's like, if I'm not going to use it for 5 days, then even though I'm getting cheaper per day, there's been many times when I've put in just a little bit for, I need to use it for 2 or 3 hours. And so I'll come in. And the only reason that I want to say that is because some of y'all might not know that there is an option to put in a small amount and get to use it for just a couple of hours when you need something. You're paying a little bit more for the time, but if you only have like one crystal or 2 crystals and you only need to use it for a couple hours, it's absolutely a good way to do it. Anyway, go ahead. I just wanted to make that specific thing, because sometimes people might say, well, I'm going to have to put in a monthly fee or something. And that's not the case. You can put in as little as 1 crystal, get a couple of hours of use. Yeah,
that's right. 1 crystal, couple hours of use, baby. I love it. So, like, as you can see here, my paid time remaining, 270 days.
Wow, nice. That's cool.
And I think so. I did, sign up for the guild, and I sent them some heroes and stuff too. So I'm a part of their guild, which is awesome. And then I remember also when Nine-Door's, one of his wallets got hacked, I just to help him out, I came and extended it further. Okay.
Yeah, we have a great community. Thanks, Grady.
I love it. I know, right? So we're wanting to love on Nine-Door some. Okay. So Sparko, yes. Okay. So when you go up to 100, so this goes up like exponentially the more you put in. So again, you could just put in 1 crystal and get about 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
It's 0.152 days. Okay. That's like a couple hours. Okay. When you put in 10 crystal, now it's 1.583 days. When you put in 100 crystal, all right, which is $10.30, we're at 17.3 days. Okay. When you put in 1,000, I'm just showing you this. When you do 1,000, okay, that is 14.425 months.
Wow, it's more than a year for just 1,000 crystal. Wow.
Yeah. So 100 crystal does it for a half month. about, or a little over a half month.
Mm-hmm.
Where versus 1,000 does it way more than the 10x.
Yeah,
Getting way
absolutely.
more time. And that's about $103 right now.
Yeah.
And then you just don't ever have to worry about it. It's just always there.
Right.
So like some people like Crypto Baby H, she just does it, sets her calendar and does it every month.
Mm-hmm.
Just to help Neindorf. Okay. And she, of course, uses the tool. Okay. And then what do you get for that? Because obviously we all use this for the free part of the site. I just clicked home. Now, sometimes the site, does funky things here and there. You just kind of get used to it, where you got to like reload it and stuff. I wonder if that's based off volume, because it is, if not the most used, I think it's the most used third-party DFK site, I think.
Wow. Does
Right?
not surprise me. It's very useful.
Just because of the hero data part. This is where
I'm using that almost every day. Yeah.
So Tavern Alerts, it's pretty simple. You just kind of set, like, if you want to find, it gets detailed too. A wizard with a passive 3 advanced 4 ability, or whatever. It'll just boom. And it's got to be a legendary or mythic, so anytime that pops in the tavern, whatever parameters you set, it'll do. Okay. What we want to get to here for Rock is the hero matching part, baby. Yes. Okay. And so here you can put in any wallet address.
Can I put in multiple wallet addresses, or is just one? Maybe just one for now.
I think it's just one at a time.
That's okay. I'm fine with that.
And I actually happen to still have it saved here. So that's your wallet.
Cool.
Okay. Yep. And then, okay. And if you just notice, like when I clicked on that, it had all my previously used wallets. So, and it would be nice
enough to remember
if I could like take yours out now.
Oh no.
But it's okay. It's okay. Okay. So then up here is where you put in the hero ID. Now I'm going to have to delete your wallet if I want to look for rentals or for sale in the tavern. Okay. Because as long as your wallet is there, and you have to have, if you're only looking within your own wallet, you have to have any sale/rental status selected here.
Okay.
And so now I'm going to put in the hero we want to match. This is where Stomposaurus is.
But what if I don't know the hero, right? So it's like I want to match any hero in my wallet.
Yeah, it doesn't have, that's a Stomposaurus. That's why we need his tool.
Okay.
One hero at a time.
Gotcha.
But it's like super fast, and you can see what's out there on both in your wallet and in the tavern. Okay, so in this case, from me, first we're going to look at this wizard that you won the other night when we were last night with Crypto Baby H, which seems like 2 nights ago in my brain because I'm a time warp. Okay, and it's 1, 2, 3.
Thank you for that win, by the way.
Yeah, baby. I think you won the second to last one. It was.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 3, 8, 7, 8, 7. Okay. And so because we're only looking in your wallet right now, you have to have any sale status there. And then once we check for sale or for rent, which you could use, I use for my Gen Zeros, especially sometimes, but I was using it big time, like if I'm trying to find the good pairs and summon, because you can also find for rent. You don't even have to buy the hero as well.
Sure.
Maybe one of your heroes doesn't have a good match for sale, but it has a great match for rent. And sometimes the rentals are like 1 crystal. So it's like nothing, which is amazing to me. I wouldn't ever recommend renting anything out that low. Never makes sense, because if your hero just happens to be a perfect match with someone else's, they'll pay the 10 or 20 crystal. Maybe 20 can be a lot for, a bad gen hero or whatever, but hey, I'll pay a 20 crystal even if it's like this perfect match.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So then, we just want to find a Gen 1 for a priest.
Yes.
So in generation, max generation, and we want with 10 summons, because this wizard got 10 summons. But you could lower that. You do limit your options. But we could start with 10, and then you can always lower.
Sure.
Because there'll be a lot, and this searches both realms at the same time. So
Wow.
and it tells you which realm.
That is good.
Okay. And we want to do at least one ability that can mutate, minimum, I would say.
That's a good thing to look at.
And we can ignore the summon cooldown just because we want to find a pair.
Right. And if you find a good one, it's probably worth buying, right?
Right.
Or waiting if it's one in your own wallet, you just wait.
Yeah, right. So and we're just 10 out of 10 summons, so that actually won't apply, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to click none there. So it unchecks everybody, and then I'm going to find the priest. And now we're ready to go. Now, this also he added in, subclass. Now, one thing that's nice as well is recessive 1 must match dominant. So if you want to find a peer, you can click that checkbox.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay. But we can look at whether or not, because it shows for all heroes in both the main class and the subclass, the dominant and recessive 1 for both. So you'll get to see it, all the peers anyways. I almost never check that, but hey, if I did, it's nice to have handy.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if you want to search by profession, that's there, which I pretty much ignore, but I do weight that a little bit when summoning because it does matter. Okay. Right. And then he added in recently all the visuals.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Specific visuals there.
I'm not big on that, but I'm glad to see it's there.
So then you hit view. So I didn't really click any of those. Okay, so there's not a single match in your wallet.
Oh man,
found. But let's try lowering these.
But by the way, let me point out right now, this is one of the reasons why I feel I need a larger army of heroes. So I have 70 heroes in this wallet, and what we're seeing right now is even with 70 heroes, we're not finding the matches. That's not enough heroes, guys. And that's what I want to point out, guys. 70 heroes is still not enough to find the matches that we really need to be finding on the regular basis, or have as much of variety as we need. We need more than that to get the good varieties. Yeah. Okay, go on.
Yes, and even with 1,700 heroes, I'll tell you, most of the time there's not great matches.
Yeah.
Of what I want. So I did just lower the summons amount, min summons, to 5. So we can still, or I could even do it to 1. I mean, why not? Let's just see.
Yeah. Okay. Why not?
And hey, if you want a dark summon, he added this in at the top. Dark summoning. You can check that checkbox.
I'm glad to see it's there, but I'm not a massive fan of that right now.
Right. I don't. But it was nice when I was, dark. Someday I can see myself dark summoning. Wow. There's not a single match with even one ability that can mutate.
Well, then that's just that one particular hero.
That's right. So now what we want to do is delete your wallet out of here and hit for sale. Okay. And we're going to do 10 out of 10s first.
Try to find one to buy. Yeah.
Min summons is 10. And so we still have the generation 1 only. Now we could have also checked your wallet for Gen 2s.
No, that's fine.
Like that. But we're trying to find like a sustainable pair. So if you can just do this 1 by 1, find good pairs.
Right.
And then you can like build an army that way.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So then I'm going to hit view again. So I deleted the wallet and I changed it to for sale. Okay. And then when you scroll down, now normally this is where I zoom out, especially if I'm on my phone, because I use this on my phone a ton. Okay. And you have to come to the side over here, and I always click buy. And then it brings the cheapest ones to the top. And look, the cheapest one has 2 abilities that can mutate.
Wow. It is a 10 of 10.
And it's 10 out of 10 Gen 1. And I think that's just about close to the floor.
Yeah, that's pretty close to the floor.
Now, another thing we could do is search. So that seems like that might be a good buy. But if I find an even better pair with a better rarity, I will pay up for it. So like here's one with 3. Now this one at 400 better, and it's a common. Like no,
yeah, that's a little too pricey, I think.
Too pricey. Okay. Bummer. Okay, if it would have been a mythic or a legendary, you know, like thumbs up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're getting pretty expensive down here. People are real proud of these.
They are, aren't they?
Now another thing to consider. Okay, I could uncheck. So actually, even better than having the mutations is if it already has an advanced ability as a Gen 1.
Right.
Because you've got a higher percentage chance for that to pass down than for the mutation to hit. That's like code. Let alone an elite ability, you could skip the whole advanced part.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't with a Gen 1 10 out of 10. And if the real goal is to find an army, is to just build an army,
right,
we could look real quick, put that to 0. Okay. And it will still, and then hit view again. And it still shows, you know, the mustard. Now, one thing I want to tell Neindorf is that when this is a match, the subclass, it doesn't go orange, and it should. I keep meaning to message Neindorf about that. But anyways, okay. So now again, I'm going to hit buy, and this is still at the floor.
It's the same one, I think, right?
Yeah, same one.
Yeah, same one.
But it should see now it's showing ones that don't have a mutation. But if any of them have advanced, or especially like a double advanced, this would just be amazing if one of these others that didn't match were advanced. That's actually even more almost invaluable, is to get those Gen 1 10 out of 10s with an advanced, and then to
already have it.
Yeah, a Gen 2 9 out of 9 with an elite. Those are so valuable because you have 9 summons on an elite hero that you can rent out for quite a bit. And then that actually gives you a chance then to get a Gen 3 Transcendent with 8 out of 8. So Raph had a hero during the summon event with a Transcendent ability gene trait that had 6 summons on it. And that's nuts.
Wow.
To see one with 6 summons, because you can rent those out. You just, each summon is worth, I want to say it at the very least 1,000 crystal, maybe even. I mean, you can't rent them out. So if you can, it's generally going to be like 4,000 crystal to rent.
I mean, somebody who is really into that could be setting those type of things up on I mean, that's their goal, is set that kind of thing up. Yes. And you could probably be making a decent monthly income just from setting that up to be rented out by people.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So like, here's one. Okay. What is this guy? He's uncommon. Legionnaire. What is your wizard? And then once you click on the hero number, okay. So once you do that, it pulls you right up to here.
Oh yeah.
Which it shows the pair.
Right.
That's
what we want. Yeah.
Yeah. And so this is a wizard seer. Dang it, not a scholar. That would have been a great match with a scholar subclass.
Oh, hang on. Scroll back up just a little bit. Let's take a look at what some of these stat growth things are. I'm seeing a lot of mustard in all of this. So we have lesser enhancement.
Yep, that's
being used there.
Yep. I used an endurance stone on this one.
Nice. And then on the other side, it looks like we've got lots of mustard over there as well. So do we have like a stone used on the other one there as well? We've got the blue stat gene.
The blue stat here, Gaia
Tears, and yeah, there's another stone on that one too.
That's good. And it's on vitality.
Yep.
And it's a what's the profession? It's a forager. Okay. Good. And it's a forager.
Look at all the legionnaires on that side in the subclass.
I know, right? So, man, to have a scholar on yours, so when you can find and match up that subclass too.
Yeah. But I think this is one of the other reasons that as I'm starting to think a little bit more ahead. I have not been really big on summoning up until and I would say I'm not even big on summoning even right now, but as I start to think about it a little bit more, getting some of these heroes set up with higher number of summonings and then building to a pair that even if the one that I'm shooting for right now isn't really great, as long as I'm going in the right direction and then they have more summons left, I think I'm one step closer to where I need to be. That's one of the other ways that I'm thinking about it too.
That's right. So if you're wanting to build an army, this is how I would recommend doing it, is to do it methodically. So you're killing multiple birds with one stone.
Right.
Here. So you can basically build an army. You can be doing all this stuff while you're building an army, and it will help your overall profitability.
Right.
Big time. So, and I didn't even realize this. I sent you a pure wizard, baby.
Ooh.
I haven't even sent it yet, actually. I still need to send that.
Nice.
But, it's questing away for you anyways.
Cool.
And what level is it? I think it was a higher level. Yeah, level 7, baby.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
We'll get it up to 10 pretty quick.
Yeah. So then, so your chances to hit a summoner is increased. And, and so because that guy's a pure forager, which is much better than a miner, mine is a miner. That's the downside.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got a decent amount for foraging there.
Yeah.
So it looks like for wizard priest, those things are not going to really make great foragers either.
Well, they're pretty good. I mean, the wizard is 110. The priest is only 100. But the wizard at 110,
it's fairly high on the chart because there's actually not a lot that's high for foraging. I was really surprised when I took a closer look at that. I was like, man, compared to mining that has a lot of basic classes at pretty high values for mining, and even gardening has a few that are fairly high. Foraging and fishing don't have a lot of basic classes that are up there on that chart.
Right. Well, and especially fishing has the least amount.
Yeah.
So we added in now the summoner and the bard is a good. Those two are great fishers. So but before those two, man, you just didn't hardly have a good fisher except sage, thief, and ninja. So okay, and then I like to take a quick peek at this because sometimes I can have actually about a 9% chance to hit when there's no mutation.
Wow.
And then also, there's a big difference. Like I saw one yesterday, I was debating on a rental for my Gen Zero where, sometimes I had one of these at 23%.
That's crazy.
Over 23%. So in this case, you do, it's 14.06 here with an added 1.1. So that makes it 50. That's nice. This 3.53. I mean, that doesn't matter a ton, but it is a little bit of a factor.
Yeah, it does give you a little bit more of something else to shoot for.
Yeah. Yes. And I do every once in a while, like the other day, I did hit. It's so weird. Like I had mutations, but the mutations don't hit. What hits is this like 3%, one time the other day. Okay. So, and then I used to kind of glance at stats unknown, but no longer. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, that's an interesting pair and it's uncommon. So then if you hit back, okay, what sometimes can happen is that it's out of order again. And that's exactly what happened. It got out of order again.
Let's see. Yep.
It's like, dang it. When you're not so zoomed in, it's a little easier. So then you got to fix the order.
Is it possible for you to click on the hero, like do a right click on the hero ID and choose open in a new window or tab? Maybe that could keep this tab pristine. But yeah, do a right click and can you open a new tab? There you go. Yeah. So now
an option, baby.
There you go. And now you got your original tab perfectly in line still.
Yeah. So sometimes it doesn't do that, like when you're on your phone, but then sometimes it does. It's not totally consistent.
Gotcha.
Okay. And Crypto Baby H is sending over some prizes. I love it.
Nice.
And Sabu donated his prize to like a new player or something.
Whoa.
I love it.
Sabu.
Hey,
Wow.
digital sniper in the house. Yes, this is only available on the paid version. So digital snipers, start the stream over if you didn't. You could even pay one crystal at a time and get a couple hours, use out of that and use this tool. And then so I usually, like to kind of compare the pros and cons. Like here, you've got, at least a mutation on the visuals. That's like a little plus. Like I know you don't care as much about that either. And sometimes, like, look, this subclass is a little better than Ninja to hit, even though that doesn't align. And that's like a little weight, but it's only common instead of uncommon, so I factor all these little things.
But every one of those little things is something to think about. Yeah.
So, and it looks like we're at about similar odds. So we got almost a 15% here, 14.36, which was exactly the same.
A couple of mosh odds for some
1% there, and about a 1% between those two. So nothing mind-blowing about the difference of the two. Almost the same, except fishing, which foraging is better because you could pound, like even for a PvP hero, you could be pounding intelligence, so with the priest, it's like, wow, as far as stats go, everything down that whole sheet that I saw, and I still want to follow up with Wowie and do a video about the priest. But it's like wisdom, intelligence, vitality, wisdom, vitality, wisdom, intelligence, with vitality, wisdom, intelligence. So it's like for a PvP priest, OMG. And we kind of already knew that, but especially with the priest, holy smokes. So in this case, a forager priest, you're just pounding vitality, wisdom, and you could go, intelligence, wisdom, vitality is what looks like you want to be doing for the priest.
Yeah, but you're not hitting the luck or agility, which is what you'd want for fishing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why fishing or mining, is ideal for these. But again, when you're just building an army, it's not a big deal.
But that is actually something. Okay, so here's one of the things that I want to make sure to talk about with you for what I'm looking at. So I'm not talking about a PvP army. What I'm talking about at the beginning is I feel the first thing that new players or players that don't have a lot of heroes should probably going for is profession questing armies, because that's where we're going to be getting all those loot, all these tiers that we're having now, all the loot that's going to be coming up when we need the potions in the next couple of months. And so right now I feel people they can focus on PvP, of course, but I think that having an army of questers today is more valuable than an army of PvP today.
Today at this time. But I could see once PvP goes live, I could see a lot of new players won't potentially care about anything else besides playing the game, like PvP.
And because we already know that PvP is actually going to be giving us more experience than questing, that would be the other reason to really be focusing on that too. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. So kind of my strategy, and this is essentially what I've done. I mean, I've built an army and I'm up over 1,700 heroes now. I mean, now I did go in and buy a bunch of heroes at first, but I almost never buy a hero very often. And so because I just know I can keep building my army, and they'll keep profiting over time, and then eventually I think everything is just up. As long as the game succeeds, everything's good with the game. So in the meantime, I am trying to also build a PvP army, but also, it's mostly just a questing army because it's hard to get that PvP army. It's just so dang hard to get that. But yes, the one thing nice also with fishing though is luck does, help with the eggs across all professions, I think. And I think luck is a stat that is good for all heroes potentially.
Yeah.
And I think we'll get more alpha on that. But I think even Wowie would say that. Wonder what the brown gent would say about luck. It's an interesting one. But I feel like agility, I think it still matters for sure with a priest and wizard, but it's not really a stat that's going to matter as much.
It would really be interesting to see, like, if we were able to get just a tiny hint of alpha about the code. I wonder, like, when they're considering every algorithm or every equation that goes on, what percentage of all those equations do you think include some additional luck bonus? Like, maybe, like, even if it's 1% of your luck, but if that's on every single equation in the game, like like whether you're fighting or questing or whatever it is you're doing, if there's a 1% bonus for luck, that's interesting, right?
That was one of my questions for Hubert as well. It was on stats. What was that? That was part of the question with luck. How much does that actually factor into getting eggs? And then also with stats, like as they grow, we know as they grow, it helps your questing, but how much exactly?
Right.
That would be like an interesting formula for all of us math nerds, to examine. Because we know that 70% of the questing additional loot outcome comes from the profession gene and the profession, stat as we build that up, and that builds up fast. You get up to profession level 10 pretty quick. But then over time, in the long run, those profession stats will just continuously, imagine, I think the leveling profession stat, it might end at like 100, that it might cap out at 100, whereas our stats, our stats can go up infinitely,
I don't know,
but who knows on that. But that's all interesting stuff. So but profession does matter, and so foraging is a plus over fishing. And the other one, was a forager, but this one's cheaper. So that's a pretty good debate, because we're looking at 130 jade versus 191 or something. I think this other one over here was 191 right there. And I didn't see anything that had advanced. Surprising me. I was just looking.
I didn't notice anything there.
Appears to have any advanced. So those are all the here's one. But it's 250.
So here's one thing that I think I want to bring out. So far, the entire stream that we've been doing, we've only been looking at one hero ID number, right?
Yes, but I can do that in like 2 minutes flat. I do all this, like crank them out. But that's just because I'm going slow, so you can see, and figure that out and explain everything. But so for me, with this advanced ability, it's 250 crystal, so it's more, and it's unfortunately uncommon, but it's got the advanced ability already, plus 1 mutates. So I would actually probably go with that one if it were me. But you might be in a place where you'd rather save, and get this one at the floor.
Right.
Where it's 139 jade. Now the price difference, that's almost $17 USD. Whereas this one down here at 250.
Yeah, it's quite a bit more. It's almost double the price.
Well, it goes from like 17 USD to 25.77 USD.
Gotcha.
So because crystal's a little cheaper right now, it's 2 cents cheaper per coin. So I would pay the extra, almost
$9, $10.
Almost $8, actually slightly less than $8. I would pay up the extra $8 to get this pair, because you're going to summon this thing. Okay. Like if you want to summon it all 10 times, build up your army, or at least like maybe five,
at least five, but 5 or 6 more.
Yeah. That advanced will give you, so I'll show you exactly your odds. you're going to see that, you know, so then if you happen to summon that mythic summoner, okay, Gen 2 with the advanced, it's just going to help, you know, and then you do have a PvP sitting on your shoulders. Another thing I mentioned the other night, I like to bounce off you. Okay. So nothing too hot in the subclass there.
So, Grady, can you, when you get a chance, can you pull up the hero ID for that 130? I think I'm going to go ahead and buy that.
Okay.
It's here. It looks like it's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
I'll probably grab it before it gets snatched up from the tavern.
Let's do that.
And this is on what realm? It looks like it's on Clayton.
It's on Clayton 139. Okay. And its ID is 30798.
3798. All right. I'll just try to grab that real quick.
Yeah. And that's the floor with double mutation. Yeah, I mean, you're not going wrong.
Yeah.
Is a Fisher with the art recessive one. See, if you hover over these things, it gives you all the recessives. So it's nice to see that foraging is in there and gardening's in there, you know, little chances there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, I didn't want to sidetrack you. I just wanted to get off on that. So we were looking at.
And so I would look, if it were me, I would probably pay the extra almost $8 for this guy because, first of all, he's advanced. He's a gardener. Okay. Right. He's a gardener. So it's better for the class. And he is uncommon over common. Okay. So right off the bat, you've got a well worth, I think, the extra value that you're getting out of that. And so here was another thing that kind of pertains here that I was, the more I think about this, okay, I'm super bullish. Obviously, me showing you this, super bullish on both class mutations and these trait abilities down here.
Yeah.
Okay. In which case, look at this. So not only do you have the 37.5% chance to hit here, you also have another 4.5% chance on top of that. So you're over a 41% chance to hit, or 42% chance. You're almost at a 42% chance to hit an advanced ability on your active one.
Yeah.
And then this also, you know, you've got over about a 15% chance on your passive one. You know, little mod shots here, 1%.
Sure.
Okay. So my thoughts are these things are potentially like in a real competitive, all things being equal, okay, between the two competitors in a combat match. Okay, I think these abilities and the classes, having the advanced class, elite class, exalted class, dread knights, will be, all things else being equal, and these abilities will be the difference in those matches, potentially. Okay, those are very important, very fundamental. I think it'll be to the game in PvP. But I think the most important part of PvP is just the hero stats.
Gotcha.
Like the most important foundational piece are just, man, those stats, building up those stats in the heroes.
Sure.
And that's even part of what makes the advanced classes, the elite and exalted, more valuable, because they have better chances to hit more stats over time, you know, just by themselves.
Right.
That's why I'm so big on using the stones, you know, and tiers and all that, and crystals when leveling, but that's going to keep getting harder to do.
And do you mean legendary and mythic as opposed to,
That's right. So for having a mythic basic class with basic abilities like cleanse and heal, okay, which are I think maybe real good ones. We could pull up, like I forget the best one. I think is aim. critical aim or whatever, that as far as going off Wowie's sheet. Okay. But he's real bullish on even some of those basic abilities. Now, obviously, having the elite and transcendent, having stun is his second favorite ability, which is an elite active ability. Of all the abilities, passive or active, obviously his favorite one is the passive transcendent exalted. His passive exalted ability, which is resurrection. Okay.
Oh,
His
yeah.
favorite of all of them is the active stun, which is so interesting.
I heard him talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then his third favorite, I think, is the transcendent active, which is you resurrect someone else. All of those OP. Now, with that being said, you having a mythic jacked mofo of a hero with a good alignment of a subclass and these abilities that even basic will still be very strong. Okay. And so when I look at these heroes, I think there could potentially be, so obviously more bullish on the rarity of the hero.
Yep.
But even like on an uncommon hero, like one of my best heroes is a Perilous Journey uncommon ninja. And he, stat wise, man, he's just jacked. He's leveled up so well.
Wow.
And the more I level him up, the more it's like, man, I start using regular crystals on him, and I just keep going, baby, because I think he'll be a beast PvP hero.
Wow.
Now he's got first mover advantage. I think there could also, on top of that, be potentially really, other like Perilous Journey type things, possibly, where there's hero burn mechanics that come into play down the road. And there could just be other things out there that could make I even have really good common Perilous Journey heroes, I'm telling you, that will be very solid for PvP, at least from at the start.
Yeah. I took a look at a couple of my Perilous Journey heroes. I think I've got over 9 of them. And one thing that I've started to notice a little bit is as those Perilous Journey heroes are getting higher up in level now. So months ago, when they were, level 1s and 2s, when I first sent them out on the Perilous Journey, having those 15 extra stat points was a big deal to a level 1. But now, as we've had them for months and I've had them questing, now they're getting up to levels 10, 11, and I've noticed that their bonuses are really diminishing. So like one of the things I did with one of those is I took them into the DFK Discord, where you could do a /hero and put the hero ID and it'll tell you how many stat points over average. And I found that several of my PvP heroes now have a lot less than a 15-point bonus. In fact, some of them are looking more like a +10. And it seems, and I've even noticed that some of my heroes are like -3 or 4, not the PvP specifically, but other heroes are -3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm just dreading some of those PvP heroes kind of losing their advantage as they get up higher levels. And there's nothing you can do about it, right? I mean, it's just RNG. It's just RNG. It's the luck.
Yeah.
But I feel a little disappointed that I wasn't able to take better advantage of those when they were lower levels. But I just don't want to keep them low level forever, right?
Yeah. Yep. So that's tough. And then with the price of crystals going up, it's just going to be tough to figure that out. That's why the most bullish thing in the game is the rarity. So I would say that's just my opinion.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Mythics and legendaries are the hardest to get, harder than a Dread Knight to get. I mean, basically harder. Dread Knights are hard because it's hard to get a Seer and a Dragoon in the first place, But then once you get them, you only have 3 summons max if you're lucky. And then you have such a low chance of hitting a Dread Knight. So yes, Dread Knights, it's like amazing to get one of those. And so I really hope they are pretty jacked for PvP, but he's already said, he doesn't want to break the game. with
Right.
dread, you know, so
Right.
and I like that. I like the balance. So everything I'm seeing, I think it'll be really well balanced. So if the hero classes are anything like these trait abilities, genes here, so I feel like it'll be somewhat similar. So, and when we look through these, I think, you know, that's kind of similar on how it's going to be with the hero classes as well. Whereas these basic abilities are still good, you know, you can still
Sure.
compete.
Yeah.
And especially if you're just an expert in the game, you'll be able to dominate still potentially with common heroes. That especially the ones that are leveled up well. I think it's the
Yeah.
stats that matter the most.
Right.
Whereas these things do make a huge impact. And so when I'm summoning, like subclass 2, when I'm summoning, you know, I'm looking at all these things. And I'm just primarily, even if I'm summoning to build an army of heroes to quest and get items, I still would like to get, I mean, this just helps the value. And so I think of my heroes down the road as being valuable assets, and I treat them that way. So, I mean, so up to this point, I've often used crystals on all of them.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it's so hard for me to dark summon. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So, but you know, I could see that changing to where the dark summoning value added thing is the rarity. So that's why once we get big fat armies, you know, I don't know. So that's one thing. Maybe I would just buy like Brown Gents heroes out of the tavern and dark summon with those, because he's not even using tears
Yeah.
and stones. Okay.
Wow.
Because where tears are going. Okay. So that does that
It gives me a little bit of an idea, but I don't, man, I don't really know if that's really what I was looking for too much. I mean, it is very helpful information, and I'm always glad every time you show this side of ADFK.
uh-huh.
I'm really happy because it is easier to find that match than to try to manually look
Oh my
through the
gosh.
tavern. That's just craziness to try to
Yeah.
do that.
I
But
can't imagine doing that.
maybe the tool that I'm really looking for is probably Stomposaurus or something like that. Because what I'd ultimately like to put in is I'd
Mm-hmm.
like to give a couple of criteria. Like maybe I'm looking for good PvP combinations or heroes. Maybe I'm looking for a higher level of matching genes for some of these traits. Maybe I'm looking for good profession heroes. Maybe I'm looking for something, and have like a set of like a class or classification that I'm looking for,
Mm-hmm.
and then be able to put in a wallet or multiple wallet addresses. And what I would really love to do is be able to put in multiple wallet addresses, even if I was to put in like all of my wallet addresses and all of your wallet addresses as a great example. And then I could show you or come to you and say, hey, Grady,
Yep.
these are all of the matches between my heroes and your heroes. Let's work out some deals.
Yep.
And then it can filter the top ranked heroes based on some statistics that we've set. Like these are between all of our wallets, these are the best matching that gives the highest number of gene matches, or these are the ones that have profession questing matching with the blue green traits and the classes with professions and all this other kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
prioritized with the most matches up at the top and then down to the least matches, and then
Yes.
be able to say, all right, so these, if I'm going to use any of these wallets to summon, these are the ones I probably want to look at first, second, third. So like when we're doing a summoning event, as an example, you probably want to do your best matches first. And then if you want to do some extra summons, then you can keep going down the list and hitting more and more of those, right?
Mm-hmm. That would be amazing. And that's
Right.
exactly, I think, what Stomposaurus can do.
Yeah.
So that tool, if he could somehow develop that, I would be his number one fan. Yeah, DFK
Yeah.
Analytics is another one. You can search all the heroes in your wallet.
Yep.
And you can, but it's just a little bit harder, especially if you have a ton of heroes.
Yeah.
To kind of find those matches. But I'll utilize DFK analytics. So but what's nice is, I can search your whole wallet here versus like one of my Gen Zeros, for example.
Right.
So
if you had a specific hero, this is a super great tool to look through an entire wallet and find the best matches. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
But when I can do this and I just boom, click, and I have my wallet in. Now, for me, having 6 wallets, that's where it's a pain also.
Oh, hang on. Let me jump in real quick. Somebody in chat a little while back mentioned that they think that you could do multiple wallets in here.
You might be able to, but I think it's just one wallet at a time right here.
Well, let's see if that person, I forget who it was, back, and I don't know if it's worth scrolling back in chat or not, but let's see if somebody mentioned it. Anyway, continue talking what you're doing, and if someone else thinks that this can do multiple wallets, do we need to separate them by spaces or commas, or how could we do that here?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I'm just
that would be amazing. I mean, I could try it.
Yeah, we could try it.
Okay. So here's one of mine.
And maybe just put a comma after it, maybe, and then another wallet.
Maybe, yeah. I can't type anything.
Yeah, maybe it's not a valid character, or it won't let you put more characters in a wallet. Yeah.
Like a space. I can't type anything. It's just like, maybe it just knows there's
Yeah. So if there is a way to do it, maybe this is not the right way or something. Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
But continue on with your original
thoughts. Maybe right here, only my wallets, and I can add more wallets in my account. Oh, that's going to be helpful.
Maybe that was it.
Wallets.
Right. Maybe that was what they were intending.
No, I think that's yours. Okay. I'll just come here. I can do this real quick. Okay. So, yep, that's another one. So if I click that and hit paste and then submit, I bet that's the trick. Yes. Then I'll add all my wallets there. And so when I come back to home, that's awesome. Why did I already think of that?
Yeah. We might find you some great heroes right now.
And so that would have saved me a lot of time on the summoning event. Because I got to where I was doing it fast. The hard part is then sending the heroes, fighting with the bots, and if they're already questing. And
so you talk about fighting with the bots, but this, I think, is another good thing of why I really am liking DFK Helper these days, is because on that spreadsheet, and soon to be in a better UI, you just pull a drop down and you're like, I want this hero to go over to Serendale or Crystalvale. And there's no fighting with the bot. The bot will do it itself. So that's the better way to do it, right?
Yep. As long as you're sitting in front of a computer, which I do. I'm constantly on my phone.
But wasn't Zelly's talking about a mobile interface to DFK Helper? I think he was.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He does. Yeah. No, I think it's already there. You can do it all from your phone. That's right. With Helper.
There you go.
I do definitely see it's just a matter of time. Like when you have 17 heroes, getting that spreadsheet all set up. So, and I was telling Zelly's this, like I actually did all of these.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know that the defaults now are going to do generally the best things for you. So you didn't actually have to.
But I'm so anal on that.
Yeah, I hear you.
That like I still need to figure out what I want to do on the leveling part of it all.
Yeah.
Because because the crystals are getting crazy, so I got to be more selective there. But then also, if I do want to auto list them in the tavern, which I think is a decent idea.
Yeah.
To do that on almost all my heroes. to put them even if it's kind of at a premium, I can't stand it when people way overdo it. Like
Right.
when people were trying to sell their greater might crystals for $1,000. It's like, come on, man.
You're awfully proud of that, hero.
Sometimes people do that.
You know, sometimes I think people put outrageously high prices on some specific heroes, not because they're trying to sell it, but just because they're trying to show off, I have this hero. Sometimes I feel that that's what could be going on there.
Maybe. Yeah. Because it can just be like bonkers.
Yeah.
But, you know, you could list your heroes in there. That's a big plus.
Yeah. I think DFK Helper is really fantastic thing.
Yeah, I do too. And I like Zellies and Coolio a lot.
Absolutely.
So, but yes, coming back to this tool,
yeah,
it is a pain, but I can, you know, if you find your 10 out of 10 heroes, which I also utilize analytics for, by the way. Okay.
Yeah. So this is great.
Buy 10 out of 10, you know, Gen 1s or something. And I'll just one at a time, because I never try and do that, especially in my case. Okay. I never try and like match them myself because it's like if I want to match these advanced, it's just like nuts to try and do that. Okay. So I always just find the hero I want, and then I come here, put him right here, and then I'm searching them against my wallets real quick, and then I'm running through it real quick, you know, and then, okay, if nothing's there I like, or maybe something's just okay, maybe, then I'll real quick just come and search the tavern, you know, and it's pretty quick. So it's not, though, Stomposaurus level where he can just do that for all your heroes like right away, and then he sends me hundreds of matches.
Wow.
He sent me hundreds of matches.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get through them all without taking a break. I summoned for 9 or 10 hours straight, at least. Straight without taking a break.
This is where you need a summoning tool that you can just put in all of the hero ID pairs, and then it just goes through and summons them all.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just have a text file, like a normal, you know, email text file with the pairs, 1, 2 per line, just the 2 hero IDs per line, and you feed that into a program or an app or, you know, spreadsheet or whatever, and it just goes and summons all those as quick as it can, or as quick as it, you know, can without, you know, overdoing it for the DFK side, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be interesting too, because if you want to use a stone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you,
But I think Helper can do that. What you put in the pairs.
I know. Well, I don't know if Helper can be exaggerated on, but there is a summoning tab, absolutely. And I haven't checked to see like if you can add a whole bunch more rows, but I guess you probably could. Yeah, you could add as many rows in here as you want, and in that particular case, and you could fill out all of the things you wanted to summon in advance, and then just let the tool do it all for you.
Yeah, and you can put require enhance. Now, I'm guessing that's a stone.
Yeah.
Use max tiers.
Yeah,
man, that's cool.
So maybe even before the next summoning event, checking this out to try it out to make sure you understand and it's working. And then for the next summoning event, just feed in your pairs into here, boom, 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 and then it'll all be done, right?
Yeah, this is Helper, Zabu. DFK Helper with Zellies and Coolio. So, and it's especially good for your Gen Zeros. I mean, because you're maximizing the time. It'll auto rent. So on the auto rent part, that's on your main hero tab. It'll auto rent them as well. So you can rent out all your summons of all your heroes, but you can't auto summon and auto sell and auto rent at the same time.
Yeah.
So I did try that, and that was a part of the initial failure of the bot working. It's been weird. I think I had like an old part of it is if you're Apple, they're not as familiar with Apple. I think that's part of it. And then I just had a lot of headaches getting this going. But then on top of all that, yeah, I could just throw in all my heroes and let, do the Zabu way of leveling and he said he would create my own custom learning tool of how to decide whether or not to use crystals. But I'm in a place right now where, like, I think you said you're not using any crystals anymore.
I recently, just within the last week, I have stopped all of my crystal use except for the Gen Zeros. I am probably going to, and I have always used crystals on my PJ heroes. I'm strongly considering continuing that. However, like I said, because I saw some of my PJ heroes losing some of their values, and they have already been using crystals to level up, and even with that, they've been dropping. Man. I am a little bit more hesitant, and they're only getting up to around level 10 now. So what happens when they get level 20 and 30? If they're already losing some of that value, then anyway, so yeah, I've really drastically pulled away from crystal use. However, I will also say very few of my heroes are legendary and mythic. And so if I had more legendary and mythic heroes, I definitely feel that I would want to be using crystals on the legendary and mythics for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I do too.
Yeah.
And yeah, the greater attunement crystal, I bought one yesterday because I used all mine up, and I know I'm going to want to use them for sure on my Gen Zeros. Those bad boys are up over 75-ish jewel, which is, I mean, that's got to be, what is that, pushing 200 crystal?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, about 200 crystal. Isn't that amazing? Okay, and when you think of that attunement crystal, greater attunement crystal, only does about half, or maybe I guess a little more than half, but just about half. Like, it does about 60% of what a lesser chaos stone does. So that should tell us, like, through the hero's life, a lesser chaos stone is really valuable. So, or any stone for that matter. So, I mean, even better using a stone when you can match up the subclass and the blue stat all hitting, and you can have 30% in some cases, for a subclass to hit. Then you throw a crystal on top of that. So a lot of times what dictates whether or not I use a crystal are those chances. So if I'm below 20%, I'm less likely to use a crystal. Say I'm debating if I want to use a crystal, then I don't when it's under. But let's say I've got this common hero who's a forager, and I see that intelligence has a 29% chance to hit. Well, hey, I'll go ahead and use an intelligence stone for that forager. It's going to help, even if he turns out just being a quester. I'm at least adding to the questing stat. So, and that's the cheapest crystal is the intelligence crystal.
Yeah.
So, for whatever reason, but also wisdom, I think agility and luck is really cheap too, with a lot of liquidity. Okay, where you can just buy up like 20 at a time, and it's reasonable to buy 20, whereas I'm almost never using the strength and vigor crystals anymore at all. Because if I have a regular or greater, I'm selling those. And even, the regular, I can just go right to the decks and sell them. The greater ones, I know you can sell them like on XEarn and stuff. It's just more work.
Yeah, XEarn and Fox Swap. You know what would be really nice is for one of these devs, and I'm not even really saying the official devs, but even Zellies or somebody, wouldn't it be cool to, like, on your items tab, as an example here in DFK Helper, where it checks I can do some arbitrage or checks the prices of not only official DFK trader, but also can check XEarn and Fox Swap. And when you're trying to buy above or below a certain, or sell above a certain price, that it could go and list those or put those out on these different tools or these different sites. I think that would be really cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as more things come into play, like I think Roam Terminal might turn out being a tool I start looking at, because I think you can just kind of go buy and sell and do stuff straight from there.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you like the best prices of things.
Yeah.
I need to look more into Roam Terminal.
I started to play around with it a little bit the other day. Rather than using Deck Screener, I wanted to do something a little bit more DFK related. So took a look at Roam Terminal, and it looks really good. There was a couple of things about it that I thought it could do that it couldn't do, so I backed away just for a little bit. But I do want to take a closer look at Roam Terminal. Yeah.
And as the devs keep developing, baby, it's going to get, I think, easier and easier to play the game. There's going to be more helpful tools that keep coming to make our lives easier, like this Adventures of DFK. It's like a building block. Then you can start just like Stomposaurus, man. He's got a full-time job and stuff. So, but he's thinking about putting that out there where, man, if we could I can put in all my 6 wallets,
right,
and I can kind of put in what I'm looking for. Like I can search for hero class matches and then ability trait matches. But he was sending me stuff also, like that a lot of the visuals were matching. So not only was the abilities matching, but also the visual, like everything was matching.
Yeah.
I was like, I did not know I had all these matches.
Right. Exactly.
Some of them were all 4 of the abilities matching.
Wow.
And even they all had the same amount of summons too. So all of them had the same amount of summons. Wow. Like every single one that he sent me.
And the same generations for them too?
Mind blown. Not always, but oftentimes same gens.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, man.
But that again goes to the fact that you've got 1,700 heroes, and
So with 80 heroes, man, I could breeze through every single one of my heroes fairly quickly on this, just doing this, and then finding all their pairs, and then I'd write them down, and I should do that, but I've just got so many. But I should write down some of my pairs.
Can you go back to your DFK Helper summons tab again real quick? I want to check something out here.
Okay.
Enabled. Yeah, there is an enabled field. Look at that third row, column C, enabled. So one thing you could do right now is you could start off, and it looks like the default is not checked. So they are not enabled. So you could right now start putting your pairs in here, not enabled. And then whenever you wanted to summon, you just enable the pairs that you wanted.
Oh, it's like heaven.
Yeah.
It is. That is, even if I'm not even using it, just to keep track of it.
Exactly. I think I'm going to look a lot more at this summoning tab for my own later tonight and tomorrow, and just to practice. Like I want to find 3 heroes just to summon, just to practice this. I want to put 3 heroes into this tab and then enable all 3 at once, and then just see that all 3 of those heroes get summoned and how quickly back to back they get summoned. Like if it does a summons every minute, if it's that fast, then that's going to be huge for the next summoning event. If you can pair all of these heroes that you want and find all their pairings, stick them into that tab, and then just when you're ready to go, just check off that enabled checkbox, boom. And then, and also all of your thought, like you don't need to recalculate again because you've already calculated these are good pairs. And one thing that you could even do with this is you could even pair with maybe people in your guild or people that you traded with. Like if you found heroes of mine, You can say, hey, Rock, do you mind sending me this hero to trade with for a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
And, we could work out some kind of a deal, and I could send you that pair. And then it's already in your tab, right? It's already a row in your summoning tab for
Right.
DFK Helper.
It's already in
And
there.
then it's just a matter of checking it off. You don't need to worry about doing that calculation again. You already know it's a good pair.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
man. So yeah, Stomp is a legend. Effects is in the house. How about that stream? So Effects, I meant to send you a message. I meant to tell you, so many people have been telling me such good feedback on how well we clicked together, talking strategy stuff like we do.
Mm-hmm.
So that man. Effects is just the bomb. All this community. We got Christian Peter in the house, baby. I
Christian
love
Peter.
it. Oh,
Nice.
okay, such an awesome tool, right? DFK Helper. Yeah, especially for Gen Zero holders that want to summon as soon as their heroes cool down. Yes, that's a
Yeah.
big. So I've even debated doing that. I just sometimes I don't know what to do because on some of my pairs, they're okay pairs,
Yeah.
but there might be a better pair out there. And it's such a
Right.
big deal to have those Gen 1s
Right.
that have, uh-huh.
So here's something that I have recently done with my Gen Zeros, or I should say, I've only done it with one of my Gen Zeros. But what I would really talking about tools that would love to see. What I would love to see is a tool where I could put in my um, like again, it would go through all of the heroes in my wallet, and if it would go through them one at a time, and it would look through the entire database of all of the heroes. And I would give
Yeah.
criteria that I'm specifically looking for, kind of like Adventures in DeFi
Well, this
Kingdoms,
will do that.
kind of
Hey,
like that, but automated to go through to loop through each of your heroes and give you like the top 10 matchings according to your criteria through the entire list of all your heroes. Right.
yeah. Well, okay, so check this out. If let's just say I have Gen 0111. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have any wallet here. Here, I'll zoom in so you can see a little better.
One of the things though that is my idea specifically is not just looking for the ones that are currently for rent or for sale.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
You leave this checked here, it'll show
Mm-hmm.
you every single option.
Ooh.
It's alive. Okay.
Wow.
So if I have any rental sale status and
Gotcha.
I don't have a wallet there, I don't
Yep.
have my wallet there.
Right.
Okay. And I go 0 here.
So
So I'm just looking Gen Zeros,
you're
and I
saying
want at least one that can mutate. Okay. But really, I want 2 or 3 or 4.
right. So you're
Okay.
saying that'll find Gen Zeros that aren't even up for sale or rent.
That's
And
right.
then it's just a matter of finding those owners, right?
That's right. And
Yes.
so let's say I
Yes.
want to find an archer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so then I hit view. Okay, and it's gonna pull. It's got every single archer
Mm-hmm.
Gen
Yeah.
0 in
Yep.
existence, and it tells you which realm it is. Now, it used to tell you when they were on Serendale 1 point, and I think it still might. Hang on,
Now I
no.
was using DFK analytics for this when I was doing mine,
Mm-hmm.
but
So this is every single archer match that pairs with 111, which I don't even know what it is.
yeah.
And then there's other ways of looking at who the hero owner is,
Right. And again, I was looking at DFK analytics, which shows the hero owners and wallet
Oh,
addresses and all that kind of stuff.
it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. If you go under
Oh,
columns,
column.
if you look into the little columns tab, no, down on the far left-hand side at the top of the
Oh,
chart,
yeah.
there, columns, scroll all the way down to the very, very bottom of that list is owner and owner address.
Nice.
Yeah.
So will it even say
It'll say who it is. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yep.
That's cool.
And now if you look at the sheet and scroll to the right-hand side of the table,
Okay.
the chart, scroll to the far right, you'll get to see the columns with the owners and owner addresses and stuff.
Wow.
No, the right-hand side. Like scroll to the further to the right.
Well, I can't.
highlight in
I
there
gotta
and
scroll
just drag
down.
it to the right.
I can do
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
well, and then I gotta scroll all the way down. No,
Just click.
I guess it's all the way to the right already.
Click and drag your mouse to the right. Click in there and drag your mouse to the right. I think if you just keep. Oh no, did you select the owner column?
Oh, okay. I
Maybe you didn't. You
select
might have turned those off. Yeah,
owner
owner and owner address.
and name.
No, it doesn't have to be name, but that's the name of the hero itself. If you want to see the
Oh,
name of the hero. So now, if you go over to the right-hand side of that chart, you see owner, but if you go further to the right, you'll see the owner address.
okay. Yeah, here's
There,
this.
there you
Okay,
go. There
right.
So there's the owner and the owner address.
So I can click on it, and there
I
it
think
is. Owner
looks like,
Crypto Grady.
looks like you own these, but if there was other owners, then it would show the other owner addresses.
No, that is awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. So, okay.
So
And
there's someone named Gaga.
isn't a public thing, by the way. So
Yeah.
it's just his own tool that he made for himself. But we talked about him making it public. Yeah. So Effects Workhorse is talking about effect, and I told Workhorse like a month or two ago Effects, and then Workhorse made a comment in my stream. I remember that was funny about Effects. Something
Nice.
we'll do. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
So I was using this tool, DFK Analytics, to look up some things for one of my Gen Zeros, and I found that some player name called Gaga owns the perfect match for one of my Pirate Gen Zeros, like amazingly perfect. And so the problem is, how do I get in touch with this person named Gaga, who's not Lady Gaga, by the way? Right. So I talked to Three Wolves.
Is that an actual player name, Lady
Yeah.
Gaga? Okay.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Okay.
But I do know that there's a Discord name, right, for somebody. But there is a player name for just Gaga, and it's a different person. But the challenge now is, and then there's also somebody named Crypto Dream, who I don't know who that is, who owns another very good match to my Gen Zero. So the problem is, how do you find those people? And I know, talking about Christian Peter coming in here, I know that some of y'all are talking about in-game messaging, like a email or a DM way, which would be good, because I know the Crypto Dream is active in the game. So I looked at their wallet address. I looked at the blockchain activity. There is active stuff going on. So you know that they're active, but it's a matter of, do they even watch these videos? Are they even in Discord, right? And all that kind of stuff. So how do you find those people when you find a good match and they're not normally renting or selling those heroes, right? So somebody was talking about getting a Rolodex of Discord names matched with player names, or maybe even wallet addresses with some of this stuff. And I thought that would be kind of an interesting idea. So I think the names I go by, Rock808, everyone's going to know that. But, there are some people that go by different names in the game as opposed to their Discord or their, YouTube names and stuff.
I can't wait for Christian Peter's tool to come out. That sounds so exciting. Oh, wowie. We were talking about you earlier, baby. I need to get him back on the stream.
Oh.
Talk about so here's one guy that might help you expand the Twitch channel, because I need to, with Twitch, I had one question. Can I minimize, like on my phone?
Yep.
I minimize the screen and do other things and listen at like 1.5x speed on Twitch?
So, I do not know if you can listen back at higher speeds on Twitch.
Okay.
I can't confirm or deny that.
Okay.
But you're right. That is a very important thing.
Yeah.
That is very, very valuable on the YouTube streams.
But I need to catch up on, Wowie did a Twitch stream, I think, about the priest. I want to look at, or I just get him on the channel. We could even do it tonight sometime, Wowie. I'm also at some point, I think I'm getting Eric Tippett actually tonight.
Actually, wow, I don't know how much more you and I have to talk about, Grady, but if Wowie is available now and wants to do that now,
we could.
I'm actually a little bit late for doing something I need to do offline.
Okay. Well,
I
hey, I've got a lot to talk about, but I could end the stream.
Well, no. I'm not even saying to end, but maybe swap me out for another guest if Wowie wants to jump on, or anybody else in chat wants to jump on.
We could.
And
Wowie,
swap out.
it's your game. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Now's a good time. Okay, Twitch does have a playback speed increase. I'll also be setting up a YouTube as well. Yes.
Nice. Okay. And Zabu, if Zabu's in the house, which I see that you are, I still need to get with you, Zabu, to help you out with your Twitch. Give me, what time is it now? It's 6:30 Central Time. So give me maybe another 2 hours, and then I might be able to do that, Zabu, if you're still around somewhere. Hit me up on Discord. But I'm going to be busy for about 2 hours or so.
Okay. Awesome. So I'm going to actually go ahead and end the stream, and then 5 to 10 minutes, probably more like 5 minutes. I'm not going to get up and do anything. I'm just going to create a whole new stream.
Okay.
That way we can separate them out for people.
Ooh, yeah.
I think that helps.
Yep, it does.
Go live with Wowie. Any other questions on Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms? I can just tell you that if I had a wallet or a couple, few wallets with 80 heroes, I could knock that out pretty quick and build my army that way. And that way you're just right off the bat starting, especially if I was starting from day one.
Yeah.
I would buy a hero at a good price, Gen 1, 10 out of 10, and then find another awesome pair, Gen 1, 10 out of 10, and build the army that way, and then summon those, and just one by one, I would be doing that. But if I had, like in your case, had a wallet of 80 heroes, I could breeze through that pretty quick just using the DFK Adventures in DFK tool here.
I'll tell you what, Grady. Maybe tomorrow or the next day, maybe you would be willing to actually do that with my wallet address. And maybe finding 10 pairs, right? Or even 3. Right? As just an example of how you do that. I think.
Well, hey, okay, give me a pair right now. Give me a hero number.
You
have a hero number?
I don't have time right at this minute, right?
I could do it in like 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Well, man, so I don't.
Okay.
Is maybe just part
one
of
hero number. And I can show you kind of what I do real quick.
How about
but another video?
How about 1354?
Okay, what realm?
I don't even Serendale. So yeah, just 1354. If it's not 1354, it's going to be 1355.
Okay. Okay. And I think you're this bottom one. 8C4. I think.
Oh, I don't know what the last numbers are. I know what the first ones are.
Okay, the first one.
It's 1 CD to start off with, or something like that. That's not it.
Okay.
No, I'm 1 CD. Or it should be 1 CD.
Oh, it didn't remember it. Interesting. Okay. Well,
it doesn't matter. We can do that another day. But I am interested in seeing the speed at which you do it. So I was really thankful to see, and you went into a really good deep dive today. But what I'd really like to see, I think, also is the method that allows you to go through that so quickly. Because, like I said, for me, it takes so much of my time right now to do this.
So I'll just look through my wallet just to show you what hero class is it?
Let's say it's a pirate monk.
Okay.
Or pirate thief, I think.
Okay, so I'm looking for a monk, and it's Gen 1, 10 out of 10.
Well, it's sure. I mean, it is a Gen 0, but we'll say Gen 1, 10 out of 10.
Okay. And let's just say I could start with 10 summons, and then I want one ability that can mutate, and all these are pretty basic. So that's my start, and I hit view, okay, and okay. So then, if nothing matches, then min summons, I'm gonna hit 1 just to see.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, something's wrong.
No.
Min generation, max generation. Oh, you know what? This is a new thing. I meant to bring this up. You can't, when you're only looking within your wallet for some reason, it does that if you want anything to mutate. If you say min abilities that can mutate, when you're only looking inside your own wallet, it doesn't work like that. So that is a brand new thing because it always did in the past. That always worked, but it doesn't really matter because this is all my monks I have in this entire wallet. Boom. Here's my hero. I can use 2 mutations. There it is. And then if I want, real quick, I can just double click.
And so all you're looking for is that real quick and easy mutation thing. You see the ones that have the most, that you're going for that.
Yeah.
So I think part of the thing is my situation is a little bit different because I'm really trying for profession right now, where I'm trying to match up profession. And then I'm also looking at blue stats along with that, the ones that have good blue stat combinations that match the profession and the class. And so there's a few more things that I'm looking at than just looking for, 3 mutated stats that match.
Yeah. So the profession you can do quick and easy. Now the blue stat, I don't think is an option on here.
Yeah.
But I don't put a ton of weight on that one anyway.
I don't either. I don't put a ton, but it is something that I do want to at least consider, right? Yeah.
Okay.
And then, of course, the rarity of the hero as well is important, as we talked about earlier. And there are a few other criteria that I look at too. But that, just to give you an example, for me and what I'm trying to do, it's not as easy as just looking down there at the gene matches.
Well, yeah, if I was looking for a specific profession, that's just 0 time, and then you can look. So the primary thing I look at is the mustard.
Yep.
And so it's really that quick. And so when you are looking in the tavern for sale, okay, then I just hit buy, and so I'm starting. Look right at the top. Here's 3 mutations.
Right.
And I will just real quick glance down here if there's anything super sexy with a better rarity. But it's like, boom, I found my pair.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's kind of really that quick.
Yep.
Okay. Yes.
Woo.
Love you.
Love you too, man.
My man.
All right. Well, I'm definitely going to be spending a little bit more time in this ADFK behind the paywall stuff and doing some hero matching. This is a really fantastic tool. And like we talked about before, you could spend as little as 1 crystal to get a couple of hours of time on this. The more you put in to this, of course, it pays better, or you get more value for the money that you've spent. But this is a really nice tool. And I think I do want to spend some more time taking a closer look at it. So thank you very much, Grady, for your time and your focus on this. Awesome.
Right. And when something like a Stomp Sources tool, anything like that will come out, that would be great. But okay, man.
Woo. Man, thanks for the stream.
You bet. I love you, Rock. Keep up the good work, man.
Love you too.
Grady and Rock out. You are the bomb. I'll see you guys. I'll be jumping on right away with Wowee, baby.
See y'all soon.
Okay. We'll see you, man.
Bye.